Oh, that's super. Hey, Emily, this is Laura. So I'm going to take minutes today for Jane. Can you tell me who's all in the room? Because I can't see everybody.
Yep, Scott Johnston is here and Andrew Jackus? Andrew Jackus.
We're live.
I was like, I know how to spell it.
Okay. And is that it?
For board members, yes.
Okay, thank you. And then, so who's called in? Rich and myself, Lisa Kraus, I see, Sugarski.
Who's that talking?
Laura Gum for the Friends.
Oh. Well, look, Laura, you really don't have to worry about the Friends till 8:30, so.
Or until we finish. We're going to do the commission first.
Can you still tell me who's called in, or does it not matter at this point? I'm just trying to get ahead.
You don't have to take minutes right now because we're going to do the commission right now. So you can rest.
Okay. Should I just call back in later or no?
Oh, you should watch. You just don't have to take minutes right now.
Okay. We will get. I'll call the meeting to order. The Activity Center Commission, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
to the United States of America, to the Republic,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would ask those at home, just till you want to talk, is keep your microphone on so we don't get too much feedback, so thanks. So, we got a special meeting today that we're going to have the commission first, but then the Friends, because Scott and I have talked a couple of times that we have common goals, but our underlying purposes are a little different, but the common goal is to meet the needs of the seniors in the city and area of Sheboygan. So every so often we've decided that we're going to meet together and listen to what each other have. In fact, some of the stuff that for everyone will be in both parts of each meeting. So with that, I'll look for approval of the minutes of the November 17th meeting. You should have gotten them.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, Andrew, is there a second?
Second.
John, second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now I guess, are we ready for the livability presentation?
Yeah, Amber Miller from AARP is on the call with us. Hi, Amber.
Hi, how's everybody doing?
Good. Well, thank you.
Good. Do I sound okay? Do I sound like I'm in slow motion?
You sound good on our end.
Yeah, you're
okay,
good.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank everybody for having me join you for today's meeting. I did mention to Emily I'm having a little bit of some internet issues, so to just say broadband, I won't be turning on my camera. But Emily invited me today just to share a couple things. Of course, Sheboygan is one of our age-friendly communities, has been for about 5 years now, which means being an age-friendly community, you're able to sign up again or reapply. But just as a friendly reminder, I won't read this word for word, but of course, the whole point of the AARP Livable Communities is to ensure that communities are safe and thriving for all ages. So whether you're 8 years old or 108, we look at the community kind of as like an ecosystem. We look at walkability, access to transportation, access to healthcare, civic engagement, housing. So all of those kind of are part of our 8 domains. And Sheboygan, of course, has been great, and it's been really great to work with Emily on this initiative. So I want to thank Emily for that. Okay. So just a few updates I wanted to share. So as of January 24th, there are officially 620 communities part of the AARP Age-Friendly Network. The city of Sheboygan, of course, is, a city or community, and then there are also some states that are considered age-friendly states. Before COVID, so January of 2020, we were in talks with Governor Evers' office about being an age-friendly state, but of course we know 2 months after that, or even maybe a month after that, COVID kind of, took over, so that it has been, kind of put on the bottom of the list. We respect that. So that is something that we are considering. We'd love to be one of the 7 states that are considered age-friendly. Effective February 9th, I can't mention it yet, but there is another community that will be part of the Age-Friendly Network family for the state of Wisconsin. So if you're interested, of course, to learn more about that, we will be streaming that live on February 9th at 1 p.m. So we officially have 7 communities in total through the state of Wisconsin. Of course, Sheboygan being one of our first 3 communities. I also would like to mention, just because I love more than anything for the state of Wisconsin, especially our age-friendly communities, to try to bring as much money to the state as possible. So yesterday, the AARP 2022 Community Challenge Grant has officially been open. And these grants can range anywhere. The sweet spot is, like 10,000 to 25,000 to bring impact to your community. So it really kind of revolves around the livable community and what we can do to better impact our lives. So if the city of Sheboygan or any other nonprofit municipality that you are connected with is interested in applying, the applications are due March 22nd, and you can find all that information at the website aarp.org/livable, and I will send these links also to Emily should you want some additional information. Last year, the state of Wisconsin was awarded, I think it was 7 community challenge grants throughout the state for a total of $85,000. If not, I think it might even be a little bit more. So we were excited to bring those, infuse those funds back to the state. And then also please keep in mind, would love Sheboygan to consider also applying for the AARP Small Dollar Big Impact Grant. This is a grant that we award monthly. So it's up to $1,000. I'm sorry, I'm getting feedback. Hold on one second. Okay.
Excuse me, interrupting. Excuse me.
Sure.
Somebody at home has their mics open and it's kind of giving us some conflict here. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. So the AARP Small Dollar Big Impact is a monthly grant that we award up to $1,000, and it's really for innovative, out-of-the-box ideas that you can bring to your community. So, for instance, the city of Greenfield down here in Milwaukee County received a $1,000 grant last month to purchase ice skates. They have an ice rink down here that's free of cost, so they used it to purchase like 24 or 12 sets of ice skates. We've done little libraries, we've done ice sculptures, anything that really kind of motivates the community to impact each other's lives. So those are just a couple updates. I also wanted to mention a couple new resources. As we know, from like November to almost sometimes March, April, May, we are living in a polar vortex. So what are some ways that we could still get our community together and thriving during the winter months? So the winter placemaking guide just came out last month, so we'd love to try to get this into the hands of as many people. Of course, it's no cost. It's in partnership with 880 cities. And once again, it's just ideas, free, low-cost ideas on ways that we can still get our community together safely, but not hibernate the whole time. So you could find that. It is 55 pages, so it definitely has a lot of free ideas. The last resource I just wanted to tell you about, which really goes with the livable communities, is a walk audit toolkit. The walk audit toolkit is terrific way not only to get participation from the community, you know, to get together in small groups and just kind of walk your neighborhoods and your areas, take pictures of, you know, maybe, I'm not trying to call out anybody, but maybe there's sidewalks that aren't shoveled. Maybe there's not enough, you know, time for someone to cross the street, or uneven pavement. So this right here just came out last week. It's new. So if you've done the walk audit before, it's going to look a little different. There's also ways, I did this with the Village of Shorewood 2 years ago, it was right before COVID. We actually did a winter walk audit, which was very eye-opening on how difficult it is for our 50 plus, even 60 plus population to have access to sidewalks when it's not being shoveled or not being salted. So this is something you could do year round. It's really great. You can collect the information and the feedback. People take pictures on their phones, and you can actually do, you know, stuff with the information. Maybe it's something that you want to work with the city on. So all of that could be found at aarp.org/livable community. So I had a very short presentation, just all about, you know, I think being a livable community is terrific, and I still just want to keep up the momentum just because Sheboygan has been in the program for about 5 years now. I just want to make sure that, you know, that we appreciate you. We're here for you. We'd love for you to, you know, be a livable community for another 5 years, and whatever we could do also to, you know, get the community excited for being part of the Age-Friendly Network family. So I can take any questions if there are any. If not, I'll make sure that Emily has this information if you would like to download any of the resources.
Well, thank you, Amber. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate working with you in the past, and look forward to doing it into the future.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for all you do. I appreciate it. Take care.
Yep.
Thank you, Amber.
Looks like great resources.
Thank you.
Okay, I mean, one of the charges that our commission was talking about is taking on the livability work for the city. And so that's going to be, you know, that'll be a continuing agenda item, and working forward, and, you know, maybe there's some good ideas that come out of the grant. I thought about maybe getting a grant for snowshoes or something like that, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or canoes or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
That would be great, so. Okay, thanks, Dan. Okay, we'll move on to the financial review. Emily?
Sure. So if you're following in board docs, you can see that it was included as an attachment. I'm going to try to share my screen so those who are not there. Scott, I think you have to give me access. But Rich and I met last week, and Rich really did his homework and reviewed the municipal code surrounding this commission. And one of the things that we're tasked with, I shouldn't say we, I'm not on the commission. The commission is tasked with is overseeing the financial operations of senior services as it relates to the city budget. So I thought it would make sense for us to look at the budget and the history. So if you take a look, you know, these first two left columns are where we're at for 2022. Obviously, much hasn't been processed yet, but you can see what 2021 was like, 2020, and I included 2019 because that is what I consider the last normal year in the before times. The biggest line item really that comes from the city budget for senior services is staffing. You know, the Friends picks up a lot of the other things that come with senior services, so the big ticket item is ongoing staffing. You'll see in 2021, the actual versus the revised budget was significantly lower, and that is because we've been operating with 2 full-time staff instead of 3 full-time staff, so that was a little bit less than when the budget was initially set, and that's because we're without our building. The revised budget for 2022 is set for the 2 full-time staff that we have. I'll scroll down. Any questions about what you're seeing? Yep, good, great question. So Scott is here from the Friends, and this, line 6, the contributions, those contributions specifically have come from the Friends, and it was an agreement that was made, I believe, starting in 2020, that to move one staff member over to stop being an employee of the Friends and be an employee of the city, so that she could have health benefits and other perks that come with being a city employee versus being the only employee of the Friends. But so the Friends agreed to pay for the cost of that person and to offset a portion of my position with that contribution. And then there was a 5-year agreement that would be a step down year over year. So for this year in 2022, the contribution offsetting a portion of my salary is done. And now the Friends are essentially covering 80% of what they have. Next year, it'll be 60% as a kind of step down. However, the plan is that once we are in our building, as the Friends are not really paying for staffing anymore, the Friends will assume more of the utility costs of operating the new building. So it's kind of a shift in financial responsibility. But I'll scroll down. Any other questions?
Question here.
Yeah.
What's contracted services? I noticed it's a difference from year to year as far as what's used and what's in there.
Sure, so contracted services is kind of a catch-all for like lawn service or snow removal service, security, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Any questions for Emily?
I'll also note that obviously this does not include the funds that are being used for the new building, because that's a
Right.
separate capital project. So this is just the city's operating budget for senior services.
Well, that's good explanation about who takes care of what, because I think there's always a question on, and we always will encourage the city to put in more, more, but that doesn't always work, and we certainly appreciate the Friends, all the work they do, and it's a busy year for them, taking care of what normal plus, the building coming, so thanks a lot. Okay, appreciate it. So, Josh, you want a
Yeah,
little update on the programs?
sure. So, in terms of numbers, they're all pretty similar. For averages of programs, I haven't gotten this month's finished yet, just because we're not done with January yet, but December looked similar to November and October for participation-wise. Starting next month, though, we're going to increase the time of a couple classes, so body basics and flex and stretch. We're 30 minutes. We're going to bump those up to 45 minutes. Some participants were interested in that, and I think we can get more people as well if we increase it to 45. Yoga starting next month as well is going to move to 1 time a week, so it'll be Wednesdays. We're changing the time on yoga to 11. It was at 1:30. Our yoga instructor is going to take some time to relax for a little bit, and so wanted to bump it down. We're going to continue to have programs also at Kiwanis, the library, and City Hall. I feel like it's worked really well so far, having some groups at the library, some here, and some at Kiwanis. It's worked so far, so fingers crossed that's going to keep going. We're adding some new stuff as well next month. Book club is making a return on Mondays at the library, so that's something that I'm really excited to check out. I'm going to do snowshoeing this February if, we get enough snow for it. So that'll be Monday, Wednesdays that I'm going to do snowshoeing, and that one I'm going to switch it up a little bit to just a pre-registration, so that way I just have more of a head count of who to look for at Maywood on those days. And last thing, we've been in talks with Marilyn about the cooking class as well. Emily's been in talks with Nourish in Falls, and so offering some of our cooking classes there to, give them something new and
Yeah, I'll extrapolate on that a little bit. I had a meeting with Ryan Laswell, who's the executive director of Nourish. If you're not familiar with Nourish, they're a nonprofit that serves Sheboygan County. And they recently, within the last few years, renovated and built a beautiful commercial kitchen and also teaching kitchen. So they reached out to us because they want to partner, and they offered up use of their commercial kitchen and display kitchen or demonstration kitchen to host some of Marilyn's cooking classes. So I'm working on dates with them, and Marilyn, I will have some dates for you today that we're going to get that scheduled and see if hopefully our people are willing to drive all the way out to Falls. It is a beautiful location. I've cooked in their kitchen before, and it's just really lovely. So I think there's some great potential for this partnership. It seems like a really cool opportunity. So
For those who don't know, for us veterans in the city, they are, it's the old Miley farm near the elementary school in Falls. So I lived in that neighborhood and played and ran through the farm fields where it was when I was a kid, so.
it does look like a barn, but it's very clean and modern.
Right,
it's being offered right now at the library. Yeah.
so.
You're going to have talks with John Dahl for Tai Chi.
Yep, so,
Can you repeat that in the microphone?
sure. Yep, so right now there's Tai Chi in the library on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock for Tai Chi. In regards to offering it here, he wants to wait until the new building's finished, so we're gonna wait until that to offer it with us. But right now, any Uptown Social member can go to the library for free and take it there. Yeah.
One other comment is the chart that you set up yesterday on the average participation for all the classes. It doesn't really describe how many people participate. For example, some of these classes are more than one time a week.
It's an average. So Scott's question,
What's an average
yeah.
per class, but people can look at that.
Scott, can you use the microphone? Because everybody online can't hear.
If you look at it, kind of.
Oh, it's not live.
Not as many people participating as actually participate.
Oh, he's got,
Oh, there we go.
Oh, what I'm trying to get at is how many people participated during the month? And if you
So
look
like
at
total number?
the total number. For some, because some of these classes are more than once a week, and you're giving it, I'm trying, which is more than once. Flex and stretch, you get an average of 15, but you might have 3 classes during the week, so that's 45 participants during that week. Just as a comment, if you want to consider that going forward.
Yeah.
I haven't, and Josh, how many of the programs are you personally leading and how many volunteers? Just a rough idea.
Ooh, that I'm leading, I lead 4,
Okay,
so 2 classes a day. Starting next month, it'll be snowshoe as well, so it'll be 5. In terms of volunteers, I would say 4 to 5 volunteers.
okay. The only reason I ask is I don't want it to get to a point where you're stretched too thin either, so.
Sure.
I'm just concerned that there's a balance between what you're doing and what level of volunteers you have. And that you don't overextend yourself.
Sure, yeah.
Any other questions about these programming?
Can I just make a comment?
Sure.
So, we'll talk about this a little bit more in the Friends Board meeting, but, Rich and I had discussed, I'd like to see us as, multiple organizations working together, establish a committee structure, with 3 main areas of focus: programming as one, marketing or communications, and then, financial and fund development. And I would like to see the commission kind of take over the programming aspect. So, analyzing our programming offerings, and surveying our participants as to what they might be what they're liking, what they're not liking. And so, Josh and I had talked that I think this might be the perfect time to do, I think it's been over 2 years since we surveyed our people, that now would be a great time to survey them for, you know, like, what could we be doing better now in the interim while we're at the finish line, hopefully in our new building soon, but also like what's really important to you to see from a programming standpoint when we move in.
Great. And that's a good segue, because we also talked about that for us as a commission, is that to designate what our purpose and maybe some of our bylaws and municipal codes. So we'll be working with you, Barb, and hopefully Attorney Adams and Mr. Todd Wolf to talk about what is in a municipal code, because, you know, we talk about expanding this commission to more senior services, not just the building, because, and that's natural, because that's, the livability is not just the building, it's everything else that takes place in the community. So
And it's not just older adults.
it's just not just older adults,
It's
right?
everyone.
Right, it's aging in place and what we can do to help that. So look for more on that as we move forward, when that becomes our charge. So very good, thanks everyone. And then finally, the building update.
Yeah, so I have a gigantic piece of construction schedule that I tried scanning to put on the screen, but when I pulled it up, I realized my scan was not legible. So I'll just give you a quick overview, and I'll see if I can scan this and send this out via email afterward. But basically, January 4th, I believe it was, coming back from the holiday, we had a pre-construction meeting with the contractor. I guess it's been a while since we've met. So just before Christmas, the last council meeting of 2021, council approved the contract to move forward with J.H. Hassinger as a contractor to start demolition and construction on the new building. So that was approved just before the new year. We had our pre-construction meeting in early January. And at that time, the schedule was to begin demolition on January 17th. Because we are in a pandemic and because people are sick, a very important person at the contractor was out on medical leave, which delayed the process of on their end of signing the contract. The construction contract is now signed, and my understanding is that demolition will begin any minute now. I drove by yesterday and they weren't, so maybe today. But the schedule that I have in front of me, we're about 1 to 2 weeks behind now what was proposed in early January. But looking at this, the building should be completed in September. I do always add an asterisk because we are still in a pandemic, and the supply chain is severely affected and people are out sick left and right. And just to give a quick example, on here it's highlighted that door frames have a lead time of 18 to 20 weeks, door frames. So just kind of these like niche specific things that we need for the building. I just want everyone to have realistic expectations because these things can really put a pin in the process. But the main takeaway is that we are scheduled to be completed in September. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Any questions for Emily on the building? Appreciate keeping us updated all the time like you do, Emily. That's very important. So, any other comments or questions that the commission?
Looking forward to being put to work.
Yeah. Okay, hearing none, then the next meeting is March 16th, 8 a.m. In the chambers here, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
John Schulke, motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, meeting adjourned, and we can move into the Friends.
Do you want to come up here then so people can?